What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Punch Club, a game which Ollie is most assuredly probably going to interrupt and ruin in one way or another while we're here. So you're telling me, with 150% show-off bonus... Sorry, that was the sound of me putting Ollie on the floor because he shouldn't be here right now. You're telling me... I really felt like we'd get more fame out of this. I really sincerely did. Maybe we throw a party for a little while? Party. Yeah, there it is. Rager. Get it. Everybody's got a disco ball in their house. He stood there. We've been there for a half of an entire day pumping our fist underneath a disco ball. He's living the dream, man. He's living the damn dream. He's living the dream. Wish I could be this guy. Seriously. His job is 80% just him standing under a disco ball, pumping his fist, and just being awesome. Just good for you, man. You're already awesome. You made it. You did your thing. It actually looks like he's got some kind of ring attachment right there. Now, no, never mind. That's his hand behind his hand. Yeah, I tried doing those, and it seemed like it was a really unpleasant way to do pull-ups. It seemed like a one-arm pull-up, but with the added displeasure of having one arm, like, wrenching your wrist every single time you were doing it. It didn't seem like a fun way to spend my time, and so I didn't spend my time doing it that way, and I just did normal pull-ups instead. I don't know. These newfangled tricks that all these kids have to get buffed. I don't know how to keep up anymore. Frankly, I'm almost at the age where you don't want to be buff anymore anyway. You're like, whatever. I accept it. I accept the fact that I'm slowly becoming Homer Simpson shaped. On the plus side, once you get there, you can eat and drink whatever you want all day, every day. I don't have to worry about it anymore. That's pretty sweet. Just being a fat guy, just like, feels pretty good. How you feeling today? Feeling pretty good. I've eaten everything that I've wanted since the moment I woke up with complete disregard to health. I haven't exercised in 4 days, unless you count that poop that was kind of difficult on Tuesday. And aside from that, life is good. Life is good. I think I might go out later. Might get a couple of tall boys. Maybe spend the evening getting drunk. I do enjoy getting drunk. Getting drunk is pretty sweet. It's one of those underappreciated things in life, I think. I don't know. Like, there seems to be people that talk about it all the time. Like, yeah, I'm getting drunk, bro. And then there's people that just kind of, like, do it and don't tell anybody. And I'd say that the second group is easier to deal with. You deal with, I don't know, when I was in college, you get a lot of the former group. I don't feel like this ability did anything. Like, we went back into that fight, and it says increases the damage you deal with leg-based attacks. But we were still dealing like 6 or 7 damage every single time we hit him. Ninjutsu fan might be an okay thing to take since we already screwed ourselves over by taking this crap-tastical ability over here. Cobra Strike is not worth it because the dot doesn't last long enough. Essentially what Cobra Strike is you hit the enemy and then it deals 1 damage to them per tick of the clock from like then on, except that from then on is only like 2 ticks. They need to make it so it lasts the rest of the round and it stacks, because look at that stamina cost right there. 11 stamina for ability that's probably not gonna hit and also does like no damage. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. Controlled Fury might be okay too. I'll probably start working those 2 next. I don't think they're gonna make any like major differences in our fight strategy, but you never know until you try. Such is life, and then you die. My dad used to say that all the time. Not what I just said. That was my own pleasant, I suppose, reminiscing about the situation. He used to go, life's a bitch and then you die, though. Except without the bitch, because my dad doesn't swear and he doesn't drink or anything. And life's not fair and then you die. From the age of probably like 4 or 5 years old on. Although I think that's probably a parent's responsibility. I've talked about this before, but it's a parent's responsibility to teach their kids that life is not fair, that you're not like owed anything. I know way too many people that are like 26 years old and they're like, the world owes me stuff. I've put in so many hours and I get nothing back from it. I'm like, dude, that's life in general. I hate to tell you, but no matter what you do, you're probably going to put in a far disproportionate amount of time in versus what you get back out. Everybody's just gambling on that moment with the thing that they do that maybe someday somebody important will take notice, and then from then on you'll be like set. But for most of us, it probably won't happen. We all want to be Louis C.K. The truth of the matter is, we'll probably always be that guy that's just doing those little 15-people clubs, comedy shows every other night, and just never really quite going anywhere. Never really quite going anywhere. I could boost the amount of money that I make, but I don't really need the money. I'd love to get the 1,500 fame and see if... 100 fame a day still doesn't seem that good to me, though. Like, it's still gonna take a long-ass time for you to accrue fame that way. I don't know if I should train or if I should throw parties. It's hard to decide. Train, throw awesome parties. Train, throw awesome parties. Plus the parties cost $500. What happened to bring your own beer, man? Why am I being forced to supply for everything for the party here? I guess because it was my idea. It's like the person that says we should go out to dinner gets to pay. That's my rule anyways. If you suggest going out to dinner, you're paying. That's all there is to it, unless I'm feeling particularly benevolent. But if you suggest it when I otherwise had a plan, when I'm already sitting at home at my PJs eating soup, then, I'm probably either going to sit there and get like an appetizer, or I think if you propose it, you should have to pay. Like, I always pay when I propose it. So I feel like everybody else should adhere to the same rule. That way, like, if you got friends that, like, can't go out to dinner or whatever because they're having, like, hard times financially or whatever, they can still go because they know that if you suggest it, you're just, like, automatically going to pay. I don't know, that's my rule. I don't know if that's everybody's rule, but it's definitely my rule. Let's go ahead and slap this Wing Chun a couple more times like it owes us money. And then we'll do this little punchy bag thing over here like we've been doing for the last 25 episodes. I really think there's got to be a way to accelerate this a little better. I forgot about drugs. We could do drugs. That might work. Doing drugs never hurts, right? Maybe I should do more drugs. That might be actually that might be the formula that I'm failing right here. I haven't taken drugs. Huh. You raise an interesting point, Splattercat. I haven't done drugs a single time yet. I mean, that means we've basically got all the do-overs that we want. We have no strikes right now. That's pretty amazing. I feel like nothing can constrain me anymore. Like I can do whatever I want and the world can't stop me. The $200 a day that we're making is pretty sweet. I hope we continue making $200 a day, because $200 a day is my jam. Let me get some energy drinks. Also, energy drinks are my jam. We haven't talked about that either, but I love, oh my god, those Fruit Punch Rock Stars are so good. I don't drink them anymore because they're terrible for you, and they make bad things happen to your physique. But god, those things are good. You can get the diet ones, and then you can just replace all the sugar with chemicals with complex names that you can't say. I assume nothing bad will happen, though. I'm kind of a hypocrite in that regard because I drink like a case of Diet Coke a week. So when it comes down to random things I'm injecting into my bloodstream, I figure I'll pay for it someday. Probably paying for it right now, in all honesty. Probably paying for it already. Still, you gotta die of something, right? I mean, you can live in fear, or you can just do whatever you want and then accept the consequences when it comes down the line. I think I'm gonna go for the second part where I just do whatever I want and then I accept the consequences later on down the line, because that sounds pretty cool. Rather than always being worried about everything, giving myself ulcers just because, hey, how come you don't love me? Yay, she's happy too. She's been reading that book now for like, seriously, 100 days. That book has been non-stop. What is it, like written in ancient Sumerian? Like, I feel like you should probably be done with it. She's like, oh, it's my pink book cover. I put it on every book that I read. You remember when they used to do that in school? I don't know if they still do that in school, where you gotta put covers on all the books. That stupid, like, construction paper shit, or we used to make it out of paper shopping bags. That's what we used to make it out of. You get in trouble if you hadn't covered your book by, like, a certain day. They'd be like, detention! Detention wasn't that bad where I went, though, because it was in the computer lab. And so it basically meant you got to sit there on the internet for like an hour and a half after school. And since my family had shitty internet, we had like dial-up. It was better than going home. And basically all I was going to do when I got home was sit there and play Diablo anyways, and with shitty internet. And so I had a friend of mine who worked in the computer lab after hours install Diablo 2 on my console that I used when I was in detention and computer lab. And then we just played Diablo from then on. And problem solved. Detention hold no sway over me anymore. Now Saturday school is when shit got real. Saturday school kind of sucked. Saturday school was problematic. It was not my favorite thing. I got Saturday school once or twice. One time they canceled it, which was just like, oh, lesson not learned. Like they said all Saturday schools were. I got Saturday school. I don't remember what I did. I did something. I was always in trouble when I was in high school. I got Saturday school for something though. And then like the Friday before they called and they were just like, Saturday school has been canceled because they couldn't find a teacher or something that would like handle the budget, or I don't know. There was no teacher that could teach the Saturday school or just sit there and read a book while the rest of us sat there and read books. So they just outright canceled it. I had that happen with a detention one time too, which sucked because my mom took an extra work shift. I lived hella far away from the school, and so I had to walk super far. It took me like all day to walk home. And so my mom thought I had detention that day, so she took an extra shift. When normally on her way home from work, because she worked the early shift and she got off work like right around the time I got out of school, she would just like swing by and grab me real fast and take me home before she swung off to do whatever it is she did when she was not at work. And so that day she took an extra shift because I had detention, and then I said I'd get a ride home with somebody else, and then they canceled the detention. I was like, son of a bitch. Son of a bitch! This is my life. This is my life. So are we like there yet? I'm beginning to think that 23 might be elusive and impossible to acquire. We also need food now, so let's go eat some pizza. And then we'll go, can I fight with Hulk Hogan again? Oh, I'm famous enough. Hooray, this time I'm going to do drugs. Maybe that'll swing things. And also, I'm going to do my best this time to actually slot the right abilities instead of squandering my potential doing dumb shit. Potion vendor, give me that blue potion. Oh man, it only took me up to 24. So I'm going to take me up to like 25 or 26. That would have been way more satisfactory. Alright, Culk. It's on, pal. It's on, buddy and guy. I'm a little bit terrified of what's going to happen if I run. So we've got Mimic Technique. We got Wind Flow Dodge. Put that cat in right there. And now I suppose we just have to hope we don't get thumped. I don't really know what else to say about this strategy. This strategy relies pretty heavily on me not getting hit in the face, which I already appear to be doing a pretty piss poor job of. I was just kind of hoping I could knock him out with his... Oh my god, that was amazing. Keep doing that. Keep doing that. Don't knock him down though, because then he gets stamina back and then he hits us in the face and it's scary. Yeah, buddy. Hit him. Don't let him get up. Knock that dude out. His mustache is kind of absurdly long. I think they're making a comment about Hulk Hogan's handlebar mustache. We win! We are the third place, my friends. And we'll keep on fighting till the end of the game. We are the champion. We are the champion. So we've already got 1,200. We're basically almost there with Rio already. So let's fight a fight while we still got our potion rocking. I kind of like that strategy. That strategy was pretty sweet. We dealt a lot of damage to that guy. It was pretty nar-nar. I wasn't expecting that like 150 damage combo that we did, reflecting his own damage back at him and then also hitting with his own weight. I was like, damn! That was one of those knockouts where you're like, ah! People running around the room with their hands in the air. They don't even know what to say right now. They lack the words to properly enunciate how hardcore that knockout was. I would suggest we just not let this guy attack. Just keep hitting him in his face and hope that it works out. That's boxing in general, right? Hit him in the face and hope it works out. Keep your hands up. Those are the only 2 rules of boxing I learned. Guard your grill. Protect your neck. What do his attacks deal? Yeah, we should probably use his damage against him. Might work out a little bit better for us. I always thought there should be a plot twist at the end of this game where the final boss is actually Salvatore Punches. He's the person that I struggle with most in this game. Salvatore Punches was one of those things where I woke up in the middle of the night just like, Salvatore! I dreamed about it. I thirsted for his blood. I thirsted for his destruction every night. I'd lay my head on my pillow and I just couldn't sleep because Salvatore was out there and he was unbeaten. 32 damage right. He got 60 back. Man, you guys in your way of the turtle builds, I swear to God. Punch me in the face until your hand breaks. That's roughly the turtle build. Punch me in the face until your hand breaks so many times that you faint. Yay! Dodginess. Wow, he got put to sleep. He stayed down. He went down and he stayed down there. When he went down under, he went on safari. I want to go to Australia. Australia would be super cool. Going to like Melbourne or something. Yeah. I've always felt like a special kindred with Australian people. Even though I've never really met any Australian people, aside from on the YouTube channel. I don't know. I feel like coastal Australian people are a lot like Californians. Like, we have a lot of things in common. We live in a place where it's super hot. We live in a place where there's great white sharks. We live in a place where going to the beach is considered like a thing that you do or something. I don't know. Or at least everybody assumes you go to the beach a lot. Don't let him kick you for 15 damage. You send that shit right back. Yeah, you let him find out. That 15 damage is not okay. Please stop letting him reflect damage back at you. What are you doing right now? Oh my god. Like, are we on the for realsies right now? How come his block seems so much cheaper than my block? Like, I run block on my Way of the Turtle guy, and it's hella expensive. It's like 10 stamina every single time somebody hits me. And so, like, people that throw out a flurry of blows, like our current character, give me a lot of trouble. This guy we're going to have to swap out for, though. And to move things around a little bit for his punk ass. There we go. It's the same thing we've been doing the entire game, guys. We're not going to swap things out much from here on in. Rio is the last fight that we're actually going to struggle with. If we can take Rio, we're totally 100% good. After Rio, we should be able to take Kine without any problems, and that'll be the end of the game. I was hoping we'd beat it today, but we've had a number of major sets. I wasn't expecting to lose to Hulk Hogan. That was my fault for slotting the wrong abilities, though. I feel like a jackass. They kind of look similar. All the abilities sort of look alike in the little blue bar things, and so, I don't know. I messed up, guys. I messed up badly. I don't think we're going to take this one to the hole, so instead I'm just going to take the freebie win. I'm going to take the booby prize. If we were doing a little bit better, maybe, but that doesn't seem that awesome. But you know what? The more passives we have, whatever. I'm not even really that concerned about it anymore. Let's push this as far as we can. Eat some pizzas. Eat that right there to get some health back. When it comes to fighting Kine, when can we fight him? We got a bit of time before we can go after him. So, we have a helicopter? Damn, son. How come I don't have a helicopter? I feel like I've messed up my life in a lot of unique and really outstanding ways since I don't have a helicopter. I think we should... is that what I'm aiming for? Has that been the call of my life, to have a helicopter? I think I'm having an existential moment right now, everybody. I think I might need a helicopter. I'd feel like an asshole every time I flew it. But I'd have a helicopter. And I think that would salve the burn of, you know, feeling like I was a bad person for spending money on a helicopter for me. Also a pilot, because I don't want to fly it. That's way too much effort. Somebody else had to fly me there. I had a friend that's what he wanted to do. He dropped out of college because he wanted to be a helicopter pilot. Like halfway through college, he was like, I've decided I want to fly helicopters. And that's what he does now. His entire Facebook page is covered to him flying helicopters. Like, good for you, man, for having the balls to get out of here and go do that shit. Good for you. Good for you. It's a scary thing. Like, that's what it is for me with YouTube, too. Is like, after I got done with college, I could take the safe option and I could get a job in geology. Or I could take a chance while I'm still young enough to take a chance and do the YouTube thing for a while and just, like, see what happens with that. And in all honesty, it's gone okay. Like, my YouTube career is nothing special. I don't think I mean, I'm never going to be like Frankie on PC in 1080p or anything like that. I'm never going to be Dragass. I'm never going to be like one of the really, really big channels that just like attracts people like flies, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of that's part of it's I'm lazy. I think that's a big part of it too, is that like I could sit around and I could do one episode a day, like PewDiePie style, and like jump cut and edit the shit out of it, and like that would be easy enough. Like, it's doable. I don't think I would have any problem doing something like that. It's just I don't enjoy video editing. Like, I hate video editing. It's not something that brings me joy. And it would basically ruin the point of doing YouTube for me, which is, like, I just like doing these uncut things because it's fun. I never particularly enjoy video editing. In fact, I'd say probably don't get into YouTube unless you find video editing to be at least slightly entertaining, because that's a major, major hiccup in my YouTube career, is that I just hate editing. I hate it. It's boring, and it just ruins my job for me. It doesn't mean I don't know how to do it. Like, I know how to do it, and I do it with, like, the Loot Crate videos and whatnot. Like, I have a rough idea and a rough understanding of how to frame a shot and things like that. Never took classes on it or anything because, as you might understand, in geology, they don't really teach you how to use cameras much. It's not a big part of the curriculum. We're kind of rich right now. We got like $5,000. That's pretty sweet. Wish I had $5,000. That'd be rad. Like, can you imagine what you would do if you had like $5,000 right now? You're like, BAM! $5,000. That'd be badass, right? In your hand. Put it in 20s so that it feels even more awesome. Mm-hmm. Some of them Jacksons. That'd be a lot of Jacksons. That'd be like a lot of Jacksons. Wow, we didn't hurt him like at all. You want to like get on the offensive? You're letting him kind of dictate this fight right now. You're letting him decide. Wonder if there's a point at which you can break agility and it just goes too far and it just doesn't count anymore. It comes around the horn. Having 25 agility is the same as having 4 agility. Like, damn it! All this effort to be all lithe and just kind of like, oh, we almost got him. We almost got him. A for effort. Okay, B plus for effort. Yeah, man. I don't know. I didn't have a lot of money when I worked at Blockbuster, so we came up with like a complex trading scheme wherein people would get free movies and then they would just bring us stuff. It worked out pretty well. Worked out pretty well for a long, long time. We had about we had pretty much our entire little plaza. Like, all the stores around there, you made sure you gave the managers free movies when they came in because they had the pull to actually, like, do stuff. So, for example, like, some days, the people from the Mexican place across the street would bring in, like, a full buffet of food for me and, like, all my coworkers. And then we had a Subway next door. They were always bringing us free sandwiches and stuff. We had like, a burger place across the way that was always bringing us free food. And the job didn't pay us enough to actually feed ourselves. So we had to come up with complex solutions to complex problems. The job only paid like $4 an hour because minimum wage was dookie back then. Minimum wage is still dookie, but it was even dookier back then. And so we could pay rent, but they wouldn't give us full-time. So I had multiple jobs for a while where I did like 25 here, 20 there, 25 here, 25 there. That got really, really hard to juggle though, because then you'd be getting up at like 5 in the morning, and I worked at a restaurant, so you get up at like 5 in the morning, you go to the restaurant, you get off work at like 1:30 or so, in there, depending on how it went. Sometimes I'd go in a little bit later at like 6 or maybe 6:30, but most of the time I had to be there like 5. And you get there, and you'd like go do the shipping thing in the back, and you had to put everything in the freezer, and it was super cold. And then after you did that, you had to get everything set up for the morning rush for all the old people that come in to drink coffee and sit around not ordering anything. And at which point I get off at like 1:30 or so, and then I have about 2 hours before I had to go back to my other job, which was the night shift at Blockbuster Video. And I don't know, it seemed like a bit much. I felt like I was living to work, or like working to live, or something. You know how the saying goes. And so ultimately, I really felt like eventually, once we came up with like a good solid hustle that had like the entire neighborhood involved, that made life a little bit easier. I mean, it cut food expenditures almost off completely because I was eating good-ass restaurant food pretty much 5 nights a week when I was working at Blockbuster. It's pretty sweet stuff. Chilling with the best bro. I used to go in on my days off even so. Like, we'd be over there, and it'd be like your day off, but like I lived with the people I worked with, and so it'd just be boring at the house because nobody would be there. And so usually I'd just take my laptop, and this is back when like World of Warcraft just busted onto the scene. And so I bring my laptop and my roommate's laptop, and we'd chill at Blockbuster and play World of Warcraft on the Wi-Fi over there until customers came in. And they'd be like, hold on, AFK. Hold on, AFK. People used to get so mad, like our random group composition. But then again, I find it hilarious to troll people online. Because it's like, what are they going to do, you know? Making people super angry. Hold on, AFK customer. Hold on, AFK customer. That or you just ran with friends. If you had other friends that, like, back when I first started playing World of Warcraft, I think I had, like, a group of 10 or 15 friends that all played with me. And so, like, any time of the day, I could get a group for, like, anything, because I just hit up anybody else that wasn't at work at the time that was logged in. Or, I mean, at that point, a lot of people were logged in, even though they were at work. It was a weird time socially. It was an odd time. But, yeah, man, that minimum wage, it'll get you. That minimum wage will get you. Definitely not enough to survive off of, which is pretty gnarly. Then again, I don't think it was supposed to be, but when you're 18 and you can't get any other job, nobody will hire you because you got no expertise at anything. It's like, well, my parents say I'm lazy if I won't take a job flipping burgers or doing something that sucks, so I guess I'll go do that, but now people disparage me for doing that too. It's a weird juxtaposition, isn't it? Like, people say you shouldn't turn down any job, but then they look down on you for taking certain jobs. Kind of bullshit, so If you ever work 2 jobs, you're doing something shitty right now. I understand. Hang in there. It'll get better. Give it a year or 2. I don't know anybody that's still working in fast food at the age of 30. Everybody's finally kind of settled into a niche eventually, so I assume the same will happen for you. This is Punch Club. I will see you in the next episode because we're out of time. Bye, everybody.